welcome to the TLC channel. My name is Dalis, but you may know me as Stamper Girl. Today I am working with the Spring Landscape Border Die, the Happy Hedgie stamp set, and my PearlEx brush and some gold embossing. Let's create this card and have some fun. I am starting with this Spring Landscape Border Die. And I'm going to be using the three rightmost dies. The grass and the tulips and the farther away tulips. The closer tulips and the farther away. And I'm actually cutting them out of black cardstock. And I'm leaving a little bit in between. I'm going to cut them separately later in the video. But I just want you to see how I did this. Okay, and let's get them to the machine. Here I am back with them, and I will use my scissors to just snip those ends, and that will actually release them as three different background settings. I'm going to start placing them to see which way I'm going to place them. I know for sure my grass will be in the forefront, and that's why I put that the last layer, because I don't know how long or if this is going to be a slim line or what is it going to be. So I decided on this order, and I'm bringing my Versamark ink and have a scratch paper in the back, and I'm just lazily just going at it with my Versamark stamp pad. I'm using my PearlEx brush and colors, and if you notice, I did knock a little bit of the powder from the lid because I don't like when it just comes up and it's like a little explosion. But you see, just the tiny bits of PearlEx will make just an amazing difference. Okay, so I am going to bring the second piece, and this is a different piece of paper that I am using, and now I am actually just doing the flowers, just the flowers, and again very roughly using my Versamark. And I am going to use the gold PearlEx, and I'm cleaning up my paintbrush with a little bit of like a piece of paper towel, just because I don't want the green to come in too strong. I'm just using my gold, trying to use everything that is in the cap, and then adding, just see how much it was, so I went and cleaned it up by putting it back in the lid and then grabbing from the lid. You really want just tiny bit amount of these powders. Okay, I'm bringing back that dry baby wipe that is kind of acting up like a static cling paper. And now I'm using again my Versamark, but now I'm going to be on the opposite side doing the leaves of the tulips and the grass. Changing again to my clean paper, and now going back to my green. Again, tapping it if I get too much, and then grabbing from the lid. This is the way to go. It really is. If you get too much, you just tap it in the lid of the PearlEx and just grab it from there. And again, you only need the smallest amount of the PearlEx. Okay, using my baby wipe that is actually dry as a static cling, and I'm gonna look at them, place them, see how I like it. That looks good. I'm gonna go and I'm going to cut these pieces. I decided that I am going to go with a landscape format for my cards, and I am going to apply some glue and glue these three layers together. So I start by placing tape, and I think I move on to glue not too late after this. just to make sure that those little pieces, you see that next layer, I'm actually getting some of it. And again, I try not to use my fingers too much. That's why you see me use a lot that anti-static baby wipe, that it's dry. I'm actually trying out if I want a white background or if I want a black background. And I actually like the white card. So I'm making sure that I am perfectly straight on all three of those straight sides. I was pretty close, and there it is. So now I'm deciding which of these adorable sentiments. So this set, it's not only adorable because it has the happy hedgies, but it also has some wonderful sentiments. At first, I thought I was going to put it up on the top and it would have been beautifully. And if I just stamped it in black, it would have been perfect. Then I decided, no, I want to stamp it in the black with Versamark, and then I'm going to heat emboss it. And oh my God, was that a mess. Because I did not heat set my Versamark. So my Versamark, there was still some Versamark that was really, really wet from this. And the embossing powder was sticking to everything. So I left this here so you know that it does happen. Even using the static cling tool. Like that Versamark was way too wet. So things happen and change of plans happen. So I end up rubbing the embossing powder off and adding more PearlEx. See, it's everywhere. There's no way I could have cleaned that up. So I'm like, well, that didn't work. So what I'm going to do is I ended up stamping and embossing in a piece of white cardstock. Here I am just pressing. I'm using that piece of paper so I don't get my fingerprints into the PearlEx. Okay, so here is my little tag that I'm gonna add. I decided to make it a little flag. And I actually like, but if you kind of see, you can still see a little bit of the old sentiment in the Versamark, but it doesn't bother me. Like, unless I tell someone to look for it, I doubt anyone is going to see it. And here is the card. Super quick and fast card using the Happy Hedgie stamp set and the spring borders. If you try it, let me know and show us in the Facebook group for TLC Designs. Thank you so much for joining us and see you next time.